Have you ever heard of a crime so puzzling it had even the best detectives scratching their heads? Welcome, friends, to a journey into the heart of a mystery that remains shrouded in enigma and intrigue. Let's rewind to a chilly evening in the fall of 23. The sun had just set, painting the sky with hues of purple and orange, setting the stage for an event that would soon shake the core of a sleepy, nondescript town. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, and nothing ever happened, until that fateful day. In the heart of this town lay a quaint two-story house, where lived a family of four: the parents, hardworking and well-respected in their community, and their two children, bright and full of life. But on that eerie evening, their lives were upended. Their peaceful home was transformed into a chilling crime scene that left the entire town and beyond frozen in shock and disbelief. Despite the serenity of the surroundings, a ghastly event unfolded behind those closed doors. The police arrived at the scene, their faces hardened, prepared for the worst, but nothing could have prepared them for what lay ahead. The details of the crime were perplexing, to say the least. The victims, a couple and their children, were found in their home, their lives snuffed out in the most horrifying way, leaving behind a trail of questions and a chilling silence. Despite the tireless efforts of seasoned detectives, the case remains unsolved. The evidence was puzzling, the leads contradictory, and the motive, if any, remained elusive. The lack of eyewitnesses and the absence of any logical explanation added to the complexity of the case, rendering it a truly baffling mystery. This case has since been etched into the annals of criminal history, not for its brutality, but for its impenetrability. It has become a haunting symbol of the unknown, a testament to the fact that sometimes the answers we seek are buried far deeper than we can imagine. So what happened on that fateful day that has left everyone baffled until now? Imagine a quiet, ordinary day suddenly turning into a scene straight out of a mystery novel. In our tale, the day started like any other. The sun was shining, people were going about their daily routines, completely unaware of the enigma that was about to unfold. As the day progressed, a series of peculiar events began to take shape. In the heart of the city, nestled between bustling streets, the usually busy cafe was unusually quiet. The regulars, those who knew the rhythm of the place, sensed something was amiss. The cafe owner, a friendly woman known for her infectious laughter, was nowhere to be seen. A few blocks away, a local handyman reported a strange sighting. He noticed a man, dressed in black, acting suspiciously near the cafe early in the morning. The man seemed out of place, nervously glancing around before disappearing into the crowd. As the day wore on, the cafe remained eerily silent and deserted. Concerned neighbors called the police, who arrived at the scene expecting a routine check. But what they found was far from ordinary. The cafe was in disarray, chairs overturned, and there was a chilling sense of unease that hung in the air. The police immediately cordoned off the area and began their investigation. The initial findings were unsettling. The cafe's cash register was undisturbed, ruling out a robbery. The back door was locked from the inside, suggesting no forced entry. But the most disturbing discovery was the absence of the cafe owner. Her sudden disappearance in broad daylight left everyone in shock. As the police started gathering witness statements, a picture began to form. Yet, every piece of information only added more layers to the mystery. The suspicious man, the deserted cafe, the missing owner, each element was a puzzle in itself. The day that started as routine had transformed into a scene of intrigue and suspense. The quiet city was now a stage for an unsolved mystery, and as the hours ticked by, the mystery only deepened. With the crime scene secured, the detectives began their search for answers. And so the investigation kicked off, a daunting puzzle that promised more questions than answers. The forensic team, armed with their crime scene kits, meticulously combed the area for any potential leads. Fingerprints were lifted, DNA samples collected, and every inch of the scene photographed. Among the evidence, a few items stood out. A half-smoked cigarette, an unusual brand not sold in the local area, hinted at an outsider. A peculiar set of tire tracks suggested a heavy vehicle, not common for this quiet residential neighborhood. Simultaneously, the detectives began to piece together a list of suspects. There were three to begin with. The estranged husband, who despite a heated divorce, maintained he was at a work conference on the day of the crime. His alibi checked out, and he was swiftly ruled out. Next was the mysterious neighbor, a recluse who kept unusual hours. His alibi, a late-night shift at a local hospital. His co-workers vouched for his presence, And even though he radiated an air of suspicion, he too was crossed off the list. The final suspect was an old friend with a criminal past. His alibi was the flimsiest, a night spent alone at home, but he was miles away from the crime scene, and without a vehicle, his involvement seemed unlikely. The detectives were thorough, leaving no stone unturned. Yet every lead they followed, every piece of evidence they examined, seemed to contradict the last. The cigarette didn't match the habits of any of the suspects. The tire tracks didn't match any known vehicles in the area. The clues, instead of forming a coherent picture, seemed to be pieces from different puzzles. But that's the nature of investigations, isn't it? They don't always lead to a tidy resolution. They challenge our preconceptions, force us to confront the uncomfortable truth that sometimes things just don't add up. Yet, the more they uncovered, the more elusive the truth seemed. As the days turned into weeks, theories started to form, only to reach dead ends. The crime scene, a puzzle with missing pieces, invited many theories. The most popular among them was the inside job theory. According to this, someone familiar with the victim's routine and house layout committed the crime. This theory gained traction because of the absence of any signs of forced entry. However, after a thorough investigation of all acquaintances, friends, and family, the theory collapsed under the weight of its own speculation. No evidence was found to link any of them to the crime. Another theory, the random act theory, suggested that the crime was a result of an unplanned act of violence by a stranger. The proponents of this theory pointed to the lack of motive and the seemingly random nature of the crime. But again, the lack of any witnesses or CCTV footage of any suspicious individuals near the crime scene on the day led to this theory's downfall. The investigators faced numerous challenges. The absence of a clear motive was a significant hurdle. Without a motive, it was nearly impossible to create a profile of the potential perpetrator. Frustration began to creep in as every lead they pursued turned out to be a dead end. Another challenge was the lack of physical evidence. Despite a meticulous examination of the crime scene, no fingerprints, footprints, or DNA samples were found. It was as if the perpetrator had vanished into thin air, leaving no trace behind. As weeks turned into months, the case started to go cold. The leads dried up, and the theories that once seemed plausible were now nothing more than conjecture. The investigators were left scratching their heads, grappling with the elusive nature of the crime. In the face of these dead ends, the crime remained unsolved, the perpetrator unpunished. The case, once at the forefront of everyone's mind, slowly faded into obscurity. The mystery remained, a silent whisper in the annals of crime history. Years have passed, yet the enigma remains unsolved, a constant reminder of the perfect crime. The intricate web of this mystery continues to confound investigators and fascinate the public, serving as an enduring testament to the complexities of human nature and the limits of deductive reasoning. Let's take a moment to revisit the key points of this narrative. The crime occurred in an ordinary neighborhood in a house devoid of any sign of intrusion. The victim, a well-respected individual with no known enemies, was found lifeless, with no apparent cause of death. The investigation was thorough and exhaustive, yet no plausible suspects were identified, and no credible motive could be established. Today, the case remains open, a chilling reminder of our inability to solve every mystery that comes our way. It's a cold case, as they say in crime parlance, but it's far from forgotten. Investigators revisit the evidence from time to time, hoping that advancements in forensic science might shed new light on the enigma. Yet, despite the passage of many years, the breakthrough remains elusive. But the impact of this case extends far beyond the confines of the investigation. It has influenced the way we approach crime scenes, emphasizing the importance of preserving evidence and meticulously documenting every detail. It's a case study in the challenges of crime investigation, a stark reminder of the obstacles that investigators face in their quest for justice. Moreover, this unresolved mystery has seeped into popular culture, inspiring novels, films, and television series. It serves as a source of intrigue and speculation, a puzzle that continues to captivate the collective imagination. The allure of the unsolved, the thrill of the unknown, the fascination with the human capacity for deceit and concealment, these are the elements that make this case a perennial favorite among crime enthusiasts. In the world of crime and mystery, some questions remain unanswered, a testament to the human capacity for intrigue and the enduring allure of the unsolved. Indeed, as we delve deeper into the labyrinth of this enigma, we are reminded that not all mysteries are meant to be solved. Some, like this one, are destined to remain a mystery, forever shrouded in intrigue and uncertainty.